Hello. So, here's my main discussion on why motion inputs are good. I took a couple simple characters from a couple different fighting games. Now, here's Ryu from Street Fighter. He's very simple. Okay, Hadouken. What is it? It's down, down, forward, and then punch. Forward and punch. And then a Shoryuken. So, motion inputs are good because they do things like intentionality. If the Shoryuken, in Street Fighter V in particular, it's not invincible unless you use meter, but that's besides the point. If it was just a single button, you physically couldn't have it as the same exact Shoryuken that you have it right now. This Shoryuken's completely air invincible. It's not safe under like any circumstances on block. And if you miss it, you're in a world of hurt. But because it's a motion input, you can't do the Shoryuken when blocking. It's not a block punishable. It's not a thing you can physically do while blocking because you have to press forward. And if you could do the Shoryuken while blocking, it would be really overpowered. No one could ever jump in on Ryu. How would they jump in? How would something like E Honda, he has a dash that goes straight forward, how would he ever use that move? Because your Dragon Punch is invincible. Your Shoryuken's invincible. You can just go right up. Shoryuken. What's he going to do? He can't do nothing. Then, you have things like, in Soul Calibur, specifically, this character, Mitsuruki, he's a very simple character in the series. And a lot of motion inputs in Soul Calibur specifically are very simple. Like, for example, I'm going to skip to the part right here where I learn a move. That move right there. The input for it flashed up on screen just a second ago. That's it. That's the move right there. A button and then forward. Or those two buttons and backwards. So what's the difference? What's the difference between those two different variations? There is no difference between those two exact variations. But what this does, this is a different input than this right there. If I were to do the second one, it comes up with an entirely different move that does something different. Why is this important? Well, let's just say both of these moves were special moves and they were both available on one button, then there is no difference in using them. There's no difference in using these two different moves that do two different things. This move up here can block certain high attacks and attack the opponent at the same time. Wow, that's kind of cool. It's both a parry and an attack. This second one, you just smack him twice. That's it. You just smack him twice. You give him a smack and that's it. You're on your way. That's it. So then, if both of these were one-button specials, there'd be no reason to ever use the second one. The first one, see, it keeps you in place. It keeps you in place. That's it. You don't move forward. The second one, you move forward quite a bit. You would move from right about here, to about here, and to about there. However, you would only ever have one button to use them. You just press that E, you press that A, press that B button, press whatever button you feel like, and bam, you've just smacked someone in the face twice. Versus this is intentionality. There's a physical mental difference between pressing this and pressing this that's very slight, but it makes a whole world of difference. If this was a single button, it wouldn't feel the same. There wouldn't be intentionality necessarily behind it because someone doesn't, maybe they're button mashing and they happen to press the right button and parry someone at the exact right time. It's a maybe, but it's there. It's something that could happen to ruin intentionality. And if you look at something like BlazBlue, we'll look at this game's Ryu. Okay, here's Ragna. What's he got? What's he got? Okay, button. I just like taunting. And then here's the last couple of buttons, which is every button at once. Puts you into a special mode and lets you do a super with it. Simple. So then, what's this? Hell's Fang. Okay, you dash across the entire screen, smack someone, and it has a follow-up, making it a bit of a mix-up for them to punish you. So let's just say that you could do Hell's Fang with a single button, right? For how fast it is, for how fast that move is, let's just say you could do it with a single button. Okay, Zoner's right here, Ryu, he throws a Hadouken. Okay, you block it, you do this, now you're in, instantly, one button, that was it. Is that fun? I mean, maybe. Is it intentional? Who knows? Who knows if it's really skill that you got in? Because you just have one button to do the move, and it's very consistent and simple, and there's never a chance that you could mess it up. Or what? And let's just say the additional attack was just you pressing the special button again. So now you get... How much damage was that? Let's double check how much damage that was. You get a pretty good chunk of health and put the opponent at the opposite side of the screen in the corner for one button? That would be pretty absurd. Okay, well, I mean, obviously you'd have to change the way you design the game if you have only one button. Let's just take a look at the second special. Ah, very similar, but now you're in the air. You could go over projectiles or lows. Imagine that was one button. Okay, same situation, except now you get a combo afterwards. The rewards are a bit different, but that's the purpose of motion inputs, intentionality. If you can unintentionally win a game by button mashing, maybe you're not going to do it against... Nobody's going to button mash and win against a top player, but the majority of people playing any video game are not top players. They're average Joes. Right here, you have one of Ragna's supers. So, let's just go to a frame where the input is here. Take a look at this little thing right here. That's my fight stick, right? Okay, did you see that? You see that? It was really fast. Let me try and pause it just right on there. I'm working at full speed here. I don't have any slowdown. Okay, it's a half circle. It's basically like a tiny full circle, but you never leave the ground. You never press up on the controller, making it very interesting because unlike a full circle input for a character like Zangief, this means that you aren't just completely spinning around your controller. Like let me just Xbox control. Bam, Xbox controller. Wait, hold up. Stock image. I don't want you to you know. You're not just taking this right here and slamming your thumb round and round in order to maybe get a super. Because this is built in such a way that you have to let go of the stick for half a second, or keep your thumb on the stick in order to move it in the correct position. This makes it much more intentional than a full 360 input. Is there a 360 input inside of BlazBlue? Yes. Yes, there is. Whoa, what's this man? Who's big red dude? Who is he? He's Tager, and he is BlazBlue's like mainline grappler. Ah, what's this? It's a 360 input. That's a 360 input. That's a big chunk of health right there. That's not even the version of the 360 input that Tager has that can combo into more things. Wow, interesting. But what does it mean? See, BlazBlue has an interesting buffer system which allows you to do something like a 360 input without having to do it very quickly. You can actually jump and then do it. What does that mean? Well, it means that newer players to Tager have a much different approach than the other ones, because they have to do a 360 input while jumping or while buffering another thing. I'm pretty sure I demonstrate this a bit later, or at least attempt to. Yeah, right about here-ish, I attempt to demonstrate that Tager has a move which is extremely defensive. Let me think. Where is it? Okay. Well, anyways, point being, Tager has to can buffer the grab. He can buffer that 360 grab in order to make it simple for everyone to use. If you know the input, you don't have to do it perfect. You don't have to buffer that thing, spin your Xbox control, your glorious Xbox controller in 50 different... You don't have to spin that to win like you're on Wheel of Fortune or something. All you gotta do... don't look at that. All you gotta do, and it's very simple. You just jump, press forward, spin it a bit, done. However, this is made to be intentionally easier because it's a move that's key to Tager's kit. It has to be intentionally useful in some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, he as a character doesn't exactly exist very well. And then there's Guilty Gear. Let's take a look at Guilty Gear. How would you imagine Guilty Gear's pretty simple character, sole bad guy, he's supposed to be like the Ryu again, stacks up to the general cast of, well, Ryus that we have. The general cast of mainline characters that are supposed to be representative of the series. Oh, what's this? This is his move list? That looks familiar. Didn't we see that on several other characters? Yeah, we did. That one we didn't see. That's a unique thing. Oh, Gunflame Feint, so he doesn't actually do the attack. Wow, that's something really unique. What could this be done with? I mean, it could be done with just button inputs, but I mean, would it? Would it be feasible to do it with button inputs, to just make you throw out a fireball or you don't? I don't think it would, because you can't fake going for a Gunflame by pressing forward anymore if you don't have motion inputs. If you do have motion inputs, you can press forward and down and then forward and then not press any button and pretend like you're struggling to do it. Now, sure, this won't work on someone experienced enough to know that you're like a top player at a tournament, but you can put that little pin of that little seed of doubt in someone's mind. You can put that seed of doubt in someone's head that maybe this guy struggles to do Shoryukens. Maybe he struggles to do forward, down, forward inputs. Maybe he struggles to do certain inputs. Who knows? Also, wow, this is... Wow. Guilty Gear did not like being recorded. Oh. Yeah, Guilty Gear did not like being recorded. Of course, this loads perfectly. Everything else in the video does not. That's actually kind of funny, not gonna lie. But, point being, even though it's a very simple concept, motion inputs pretty much decide what characters can do, how they can do it, and what's good for a character. Now, what is good for a character? Doing moves. I mean, all these different franchises, in each of them, a lot of characters you saw in this video shared the types of inputs needed to do specials. So, how can we conclude that as anything? What does that actually mean? It means motion inputs are here to stay. They're not really leaving anytime soon. There's no reason for them to leave. And the main purpose of keeping motion inputs isn't just intentionality, but it's limiting the situations that they can be done in. Because if you could do a Hadoken in every situation, if you could do a Shoryuken in every situation, if you could get that perfect command grab in every situation, it's never going to be, oh no, the Daigo parry, bro. You're never going to get that moment 37. You're never going to get that hype. That's a bit of the problem with a certain game I like to call Fantasy Strike. Now, it's a great game, don't get me wrong. Has a whole bunch of different content, it has plenty good characters, but big butt, world's biggest butt, bigger than. I'm not gonna search Nicki Minaj. I don't know if that's gonna be YouTube appropriate, but biggest butt comes down to it's impossible for there to be hype in a game that doesn't promote it naturally. If you try to promote hype in something like, let's just say, Guilty Gear, right? If you try to, you're commentating a match. Oh my gosh, he's getting to the combo. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. He just used burst. Oh, he just baited it, bro. Oh, dang, bro. And it's back and forth. Yo, he got the low. He got the low. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? All of that, all that hype is only possible strictly because in Guilty Gear there's a certain execution barrier. The execution barrier isn't high to just start playing the game. I can go up and just start playing the game. You saw me. I was struggling with like really simple inputs, but I can just go and start playing Guilty Gear. I'll succeed because all I have to do, I'm not a pro player and I'm not fighting against pro players. What do I have to do? It's very simple. All I gotta do is just start pressing buttons.